With everything going on in the world right now, it might feel a little difficult to sell your products and services. After all, a lot of businesses are really hurting and they may not be so focused on buying new products and services. However, although this may be true, if you're able to shift your focus and shift your perspective where people see misfortune can actually be a huge opportunity for you. So in this video, I'm gonna review the 3 secret strategies you can use to sell anything to anyone in today's market. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end, because if you don't know these 3 strategies, you're gonna make excuses to why you can't sell. But instead, we're gonna help you change your perspective, change this into an opportunity, and help you thrive in this time. Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Patrick Dang. Make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications if you wanna see more videos like this. And let me know in the comments, do you have trouble selling your products and services during this time, or has your business been growing exponentially? Let me know in the comments. Now diving right into the video, the main strategy you got to understand when you want to sell in today's market, no matter how crazy things are in the world, you have to understand that you need to sell your products and services to people who actually need it, okay? So because the environment has changed so much, a lot of people are working from home and things have shifted dramatically, people are still buying. However, the way you're selling your products and services has to change. It has to adapt for what's working in today's time. You can't use what was working last year, because it's totally different. You gotta use what's working now. And the first secret strategy we're gonna uncover is selling to thriving companies. Now I know that during this time, a lot of companies are going bankrupt and they're not doing too hot. However, on the flip side, there are a lot of companies that are actually taking advantage of this opportunity and they're actually exponentially growing. So some examples would be Zoom, which is the web conferencing software where you can talk to people over the internet, right? Especially this is really good for people who are working from home. Peloton, which is an exercise subscription, and they sell equipment where you can exercise from home. And also Home Depot, surprisingly, because a lot of people are at home and they need to build stuff and fix their homes and things like that, and Home Depot is considered an essential business, so it's open and it actually has been growing quite nicely during this time. So these are a couple different examples from fitness, tech, and home improvement, but you can kind of see the breadth of that. A lot of companies are actually doing well, and in fact they're maybe doing well than they were before this pandemic. So when it comes to the targeting of reaching out to customers that you want to work with, instead of always just reaching out to the normal people you reach out to who may have money to buy, or maybe they don't have money, reach out to people that actually do have money and are thriving during this time in the economy, because they're going to be willing to buy products and services that help them achieve their goals of generating more revenue and things like that. The first step, again, focus on companies that are thriving. Secret number 2 is to sell to neutral companies who need to adapt to today's market, right? So when I say neutral, I mean companies that are not, going bankrupt, and I also don't mean companies that are not exponentially growing. These are companies that are kind of doing business as usual, but the difference is that they kind of, need to change the way they do business because of the pandemic, and maybe people have to work at home. So I'll give you an example. And neutral companies could be any type of business, whether it's like real estate, finance, e-commerce, right? Because a lot of businesses are just doing fine and doing okay even during this time. So for example, if I was selling a software like Zoom, so if I was an enterprise account executive working at Zoom, and again, Zoom is the software you can use to communicate with your team online, and I also use this product as well. If I was selling to enterprise, I would reach out to companies who have a lot of employees, maybe hundreds or thousands, and then sell them a subscription to Zoom. So if we go to pricing and plans on the Zoom official website, there's a free version, right? There's great for small teams, the pro version, which is pretty much $150 per year per person, and you have to buy 9 at a time. There's small medium business where it's $200 a year and you have to buy 10 at a time, so that's $2,000 a year. And there's a large enterprise version, right, which is what we were talking about, which is $200 a year for each person, and you gotta buy 100, so that's $20K a year, right? So nothing to sneeze at, it's actually quite a bit of money. So if I was an enterprise account executive and I was selling Zoom for a minimum deal of $20,000 to, let's say, $100,000 to enterprise companies, I would reach out to all these neutral companies, and I would recognize that, even though they might be doing okay during the business, they have to change a lot of things to adapt, and Zoom is one of the easiest ways to communicate and work effectively online, so that the problem is there and I'm solving the problem, right? So when you reach out to these neutral companies and you're just kind of sharing with them that, hey, if you want to adapt with the times, this is what you gotta do. And then you just ask for a meeting and you work it out from there. So if you're not working at Zoom and you have a different product or service, you really have to think to yourself, how does your product and service help customers adapt to today's climate, right? How does it make sure that they don't go bankrupt and that they continue business as usual, or they can grow, right? Because if your product and service can find a way to do that and help them adapt, you put that in your pitch, in your cold email, LinkedIn message, or your cold calls, and then people will start to understand the value and accept your meetings, and you can take it from there. So adapting to the market and reaching out to neutral companies is another secret you can use to sell during this time. And now we're gonna move to secret number 3, which is to sell to businesses that are going downhill and going bankrupt, essentially because of what's going on. So let's go ahead and give you an example. So let's say a local brick and mortar store, right, who's doing, I don't know, a couple million in revenue. Let's say they have a brick and mortar store in a highly trafficked place and they pay a lot of money for rent to rent this place. And now, because of the pandemic, all the foot traffic in this area is gone. So, they're not generating as much sales as they were before, or maybe they're not even generating any sales at all. So if you were, let's say, a marketing agency focusing on e-commerce sales and ads and things like that, you can reach out to these companies and ask them like, hey, I noticed that, it's difficult to get foot traffic in the door and it's difficult to get sales. Have you ever thought about selling online? And if there's someone who wants to survive and they don't want to go bankrupt and they're open to looking at different avenues of making revenue, well, they're going to take a meeting with you because they want to see how you might be able to help them generate revenue so they can get through these times. And then, if they're able to generate revenue and stay afloat, then when everything becomes normal again, they can run business as usual. And to make this happen, instead of charging, let's say, a fixed fee for your services, you can actually charge based on profit, right? So, if you're basically saving a company from bankruptcy, it's okay to ask for a percentage of the profit, because if you turn it around, you keep them alive and you take a big chunk of the profit, or maybe it's just 10 or 20%, then, that's pretty good for you and it's great for them because they survive and you make a ton of money and you're paid by performance. Now, this is really lucrative and beneficial for both sides because, nobody wants to take a risk and pay a fixed fee and lose money on top of, getting killed by rent, right? So instead, get paid by profit. And if you actually can do good work, well, you shouldn't really have a problem with that. And so even if you're not selling marketing services like the example I just gave, you also want to think of it like this. Whatever it is that you're selling, right? And let's say you're selling to a business that is going down, they're going bankrupt. Well, does your product and service actually help them in this time? If it doesn't help them at all and doesn't help them turn their business around, no way you're gonna sell because it's just not a good fit in this moment and you just gotta move on to another prospect. However, if you can help them survive, help them generate more revenue or keep afloat, and you really believe that you can do good work to make that happen, then that's the perfect pitch to start getting your foot in the door and start selling. So where a lot of people might see misfortune and they might make a lot of excuses to why people don't buy, I think it's because they're not really positioning their products and services for today's market and thinking about their customers and prospects and what exactly these people need. Because if you know what they want and you can help them get to where they want to go, well, it's a no-brainer for them to at least take a meeting and then, hopefully buy your products and services if it's a good fit. And so those are gonna be the 3 secrets when it comes to selling anything to anyone in today's climate. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And let me know in the comments, what's your strategy to sell during this time? And I'm really curious to know what you guys are doing and what's working and what's not, because if what you're doing is not working, let me know because, I'll make a future video and help you guys further. And if you wanna check out more business development and sales video, check out my other videos here. So that said, my name is Patrick Dang and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next one.